Greetings guys, my name is Elio and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we'll be taking a look at Lisa. So without further ado you guys, let's go ahead and get this party started. Alright, so here we have Lisa. We can see right here that her specialty is an attacker type. Obviously you should have her in the back row with all your attackers, so there's no other explanation there, because if not, rest in peace to the squad, because you can even see at level 39 that defense stat is, it's a big oof. But let's go ahead and head over to her skills. So for her combo skill, she has Panty Flash Tornado. This deals damage to an enemy. I don't know why it doesn't say a single enemy, but it just says an enemy. And this skill ignores 20% of the target's defense and has a 20% chance to remove one buff from the target. So the best way to think about this move is every time that she attacks with this move, automatically 20% of the target's defense, there's no probability of that happening, is going to happen. So it doesn't matter how tanky you are, she's going to automatically shave off 20% of that target's defense, which is great. That's absolutely a great combo skill to have, because that means you can go up against a lot of comps and still do fine with her. I'm not saying that she's amazing, but it's better than what we've seen so far. And a 20% chance to remove a buff from the enemy as well is a nice selling point, but the main usage of this skill is just a single target, not defense shredder, but just a single target, decently hard hitting skill, which is always nice to have. Moving on to her rage skill though, Senmai Orochi, hopefully I didn't slaughter that too bad. This deals damage to the enemy's back row. The less targets there are in the enemy's back row, the more damage. So this is very similar to like the duel effect, but this is only exclusive to the back row. So the least amount of enemies in the back row will get you the most damage out of her. And obviously when her weapon is awakened, it does more damage and also deals a random debuff on one of the targets. Right here we can see the skill damage on that, 300% is pretty high even though it's only level 39. So this skill is, I would say, in the realm of comparisons, is definitely a nuker type skill, very similar to Soifan. However, this one does an AoE for the back row, while Soifan's does a similar effect, but in my opinion it's really very much situational. But I think Lisa is definitely the strongest, if not one of the strongest units that we have right now. I wouldn't say the strongest, but if not one of the top tier units that we have in terms of damage. It's just unfortunately, in terms of investment, there are better characters to have, and while you could use her especially as a nuker, I see her mostly recommended as just one of the side units, like one of the 3 units that you can use in like the elite stages and stuff of that nature, just because her rage skill is nice to have, but everything else isn't bad, but could be better, especially with the current meta. And then let's take a look at her fourth skill, which is her passive skill, because her attack strengthen is obviously just a passive that boosts her attack. But erotic manga lover, if there are white tigers allies alive, Lisa deals more damage to male enemies. If they're azure dragon allies alive, her rage skill has a chance to apply crush, which crush, if the target's HP is over 70%, 60% more damage is dealt to the target. It's pretty nasty, but it's only 25% chance, so it is a bit low, not extremely low, but it is a low. And then Vermilion Bird allies are alive, her rage skill has a 40% chance to bleed her target for 1 round. Bleed chance is 10%, obviously not worth it at all. The White Tiger skill is still a kind of meh in my opinion, especially if the damage increase is only 2.5%, but of course this is at level 0 because I don't even have it unlocked. I think the crush chance is the best selling point about this, especially if you have a big team of other Azure units, because crush doesn't sound OP, but it could be very helpful if she is a unit on your squad. But overall her skills aren't bad at all. It sucks that there isn't more, I guess, oomph with her fourth skill, her passive that I have pulled up here, but it is what it is. But let's go ahead and move over here to her War Souls. Alright you guys, so wrapping this video up, I think Lisa in herself is a very decent character to have. She's not super duper like, oh my goodness, I have to have her or I have to restart servers and get her. But if you can pick her up, especially at 4 stars, then I would say go ahead and invest in her if you do like her. I know I said it before earlier in the video that she is great and one of the strongest characters that we have at the moment. But of course, people already have investments of other characters, and a lot of other characters bring not only damage to the table, but a lot of CC, which obviously Lisa doesn't really provide. She's purely DPS, which is why I stated before with the whole like elite scenario and PvP where she's just a slot instead of an actual character slot, because her rage skill is great, but when you're already dealing with a lot of other characters that are very tanky and that have a lot of CC, it's better just to have her there to do burst damage and get her out, because if not, she's just going to die. I mean, that's just how it goes. That's the current meta right now. But overall, I would definitely say that she's a great character and I would love to invest in her if only mine was 4 stars, but you can't win them all, boys. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys have a recommendation for the next character review, feel free to leave that in the comments below. If you guys use Lisa all the time, hey, feel free to leave a comment below. Show us what you're working with. Tell us her war souls and tell us where you use her at and how you use her, because I would love to hear from you guys. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.